Hello and welcome back to the enhanced first-person shooter creation template kit and another overview of some of the features that have been added to it. Now, as you can see, over the last course of the last few videos, we've gone over quite a lot of the features, including the weapons pickups, ammo pickups, health and armor, doors, key cards, lava, slime, lasers, elevators, door, all that good stuff. But we've still got more stuff to cover. So let's jump into the interactables and get back into our pickups and go over the last couple of pickups that we have. So we've done key cards, we've done ammo, we've done armor, we've done health, we've done weapons. So the other two remaining pickups that are included with the kit are for grenades. So if we drag a grenade out into the level here, you'll see over on the right we've got some options. So we can determine how many grenades we should give the player. We can change the grenade mesh if we want to something completely different. And we can change the pickup sound there. So if we drag a few of these out, so we'll put that one there, we'll just drag that one out to there and move it along, and we'll just hit Control W to just duplicate that one. Lovely. So now we'll pick these up and they will give us some grenades. Now I've supplied the model and the materials for you as well, so all these models and everything are all included in the game. They're not perfect, you'll probably want to switch them out for your own, but for testing purposes and prototyping, they will suffice well enough. So now we hit the G key or the grenade button on the controller, or whichever button you've got it bound to. It's not bound to the actual keys, they're bound to input axis mappings, action mappings, which can be easily changed in the project settings. So if I just go and quickly show you that, so if we jump into the project settings, and then we can go down to the input section, and here we have all of our action mappings, and we have throw grenade, which is bound to G, or gamepad face button top. So that would be the Y button on an Xbox controller. So if you wanted to change these, you just come to here and choose a new input from there. It's that simple. So we have the grenades. Now what can we do with the grenades? We can also expose some variables when they're spawned. So if we jump into the weapons and into the throwables, this is the actual blueprint that gets thrown when we throw the grenade. And if you'll notice down here in the bottom left, we've got the mesh itself, so we can change this on the instance when it's spawned, the fuse length, the explosive damage, the explosive radius, and the explosive force. So if we were to go into the level blueprint now, just to give you an example, and we'll spawn actor from class, and we will set it to our grenade. So grenades, and there we go, BP throwable grenade. So now when we spawn this, so imagine we're pressing the G key and whatever key you want, or an enemy's throwing it, whatever, we can determine the length of the fuse, we can determine the explosive damage that it deals, we can determine the radius of the explosion, and we can determine the force of the explosion. Very, very cool, very easy, very straightforward, very customizable. So let's close out of the level blueprint because we don't need that right now. And that is basically it for grenades. Again, it's very easy to customize the pickups and very easy to customize the actual grenades themselves. So let's go over another type of weapon, which is the placeable weapon. So we've got some trip mines here. Now, these come out at a 90-degree angle. The reason for this is because we're using the normals to determine the surface to put them on. Now these are actual trip mines that will detonate. So if I hit play on this one, we'll go over to it and it will explode. And it will deal us some damage and knock us back a little bit. Now with these, again, very easy to determine their explosive damage because these are ones that they're going to be a hazard to the player. And we've dragged into the world, so we can determine how much damage it's going to do, the radius of the explosion, and the explosive force. So for example, if we were to add an extra 0 into this and then go and step on it now, it launches us into the sky. So it's very easy to customize the values of these trip mines. So if we stick that to 100,000, and we'll set the explosive damage to 500. Now this should kill us outright. So if you want to easily kill the player when they step on a mine, there you go. We could set that explosive damage to 50 and keep the force as 100,000. And now we step on it. We'll take a little bit of damage and it'll knock us back. But we should be able to set this up to 100 because our armor is going to mitigate some of the explosive force. So Now when we step on it, you'll see our armor took 60 of the damage and our health took 40. So you can easily create various trip lines of differing strengths, but we won't do that for now. We will go into the interactables and we'll go into the pickups and we'll drag out some of the trip line pickups. So if you wanted to give the player some trip lines, this would be the pickup to use. So let's just spread that out. And again, we can determine how many of them we should give to the player and the sound that it makes when you collect it. Ignore the material. That's a defunct variable that needs to be removed. And we also have the mesh that we can set it to. So if we actually just go into here now and we go into pick up material and delete that because we don't need that anymore. And there we go. Let's get rid of that variable. So now we can pick up these strip lines. There we go. And now we can use the Q button to place them down. And much like before in the script that you're using to place them down, you can define their values when they're spawned. Very cool, very easy, very straightforward. And we got some grenades that we can just throw around. And it is that simple to add the grenade pickups into the world. So say you wanted to give the player a box of grenades instead of a singular grenade. So we'll set this to 6. And we'll change the mesh to the med kit. But we're going to do something a little bit cheeky in this. We're going to drag this little bar down here. Find the mesh. There we go. We're going to set this glow green to brass. There we go. And we'll set the white to brass. And there we go. So now we have a funky box of grenades. When we collect it, it gives us 6 grenades that we can spaff out all over the world. And if you want to change the... Oh god. If you want to change the coloring on these or anything like that, it's very easy to just do it in the object itself. So if you want to go into the actual interactables and into the meshes, where are we keeping these? They're in weapons, aren't they? So if we go into the weapons, we're going to the throwables, and we go into the meshes. You can easily just change, if you want the glow to be blue, you can change it to blue instead. And it's that simple. So now we have lovely, cool little blue grenades. And a big box of grenades that give us 6. These will give us 1 each. And then these will each give us, well, it's more of a landmine than a trip mine, I suppose. Let's see if we can get a nice little chain reaction. There we go. So yeah, it's that easy to add in the pickups for the grenade system, and obviously all the grenade code and placing of the trip mine codes is all there for you. So all you've got to really do is play around with the meshes, play around with the quantities, the sound effects, and the materials, and you've got your own custom pickups. So yeah, I do hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, stay tuned to my itch page for the release of this project if you're interested in getting it, and I'll see you next time.